Alrighty. And
Falling.
so we're gonna save raid buffs. We're gonna save adrenals until after the shield on Sparky goes down. First ad's already been up. So
Okay.
what happened?
I didn't get knocked. I didn't shroud. Okay, I
Did
will
you
accept
just did
that.
you just already resist it?
Yeah. Okay, game.
Natural
I
resist
accept
OP.
that. This circle is the thing that taunts everything to the primary target.
Yep.
If you're the off tank, there's the
Raid buffs
only real
and
way you're
adrenals
gonna be
here.
able to get is by taunting. They're inside the circle, so you have to be outside of the circle and taunt, so they leap to you, and they're no longer inside the circle. If you
Yes.
taunt while you're inside the circle, they'll just go immediately back to the tank.
Right. So Rampage also hits really hard in hard mode. So definitely want to make sure that you are not standing with a lot of other people. I've got 2 stacks of the debuff right now. I'm now taking 4% increased damage. So again, something to be aware of.
The delicious stack that I have, one I take 20% more damage, but
Yeah.
like now I'm at 40% more damage taken, but it's not a problem. I'm fine.
Okay. And no, we do not run in and out of the circle. What the circle is for the ads, as they were saying. Anyone inside any of the ads inside the circle are automatically taunted to Sparky's primary target. So if that being one of the tanks, you'll want to make all right, brutalize. So this is your DPS check right here. You want to make sure that the channel was interrupted. No problem. I don't even know why I'm concerned.
Who needs DPS checks?
Yep. So the circle is just an indicator of where the ads are going. So we've got one ad over there by the boss, but the ad management tank is going to be taunting that away from Sparky.
As soon as I get a...
as soon as they get their taunt up.
We destroyed the DPS check, by the way.
Oh yeah, it was awesome.
Just burn phase.
Yep.
Yeah.
Burn at 30%.
Burn at 30%, as you heard. So if you've not popped adrenals, or if your adrenals and raid buffs are back off of cooldown, this would be the next best place to pop them. So in burn phase, all of your DPS are going to focus on the boss, while your ad tank is going to be kiting the ads away from the boss. Snave, thank you so very much for the host. Welcome, everyone. But we've got 4% left on Sparky. 3, 2... See ya, Sparky. You were a good lass, apparently. Eventually. So long, Sparky. Sparky was a good girl, but it had to be done. Okay, can you not, though? One of my favorite things about Sparky is that all of the ads have their own names, and I don't know, that just makes me happy. It's just a nice little flavor.
Druidic Story is the best one.
I know, right? Alright, and that is Sparky hard mode.
Isn't there an ad called Garbage?
Yes.
Ugh. Poor thing.
Does someone have a legacy bank I can snag when we get to Bulo?
Yeah.
Awesome, I didn't realize that my stem was almost out.
Can you take reusable?
No. Not on this character. This character.
Yeah, I could trade you my biochem one.
No, this character is synth weaving from 1.0, and I've got like Ricotta and Exotex schematics, so I'm not losing those.
You need an accuracy stem?
I do.
I got one for you.
Oh, thank you. Garbage Groovy
As
got
soon
an
as we get out of combat.
Groovy, so chat says there's an ad named Garbage. Looks like you got an ad named after you.
That's right. Is there an ad called Lax DPS? Because Castellana, I'm sure, is the one who said that.
Don't be mean to chat, Groovy. I have your Mog. I love this Mog. I was so excited when this came out on the cartel market.
Oh, look, I'm right. It is Castellano. Don't at me, bro.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about, as we're getting there, let's talk a little bit about Hardmode Bolo. Hardmode Bolo, as well as a little bit more new mechanics to add to it. Everything hits really a lot harder. That's why these are considered Hardmares, because when they first came out in 3.0, they were very, very, very difficult. I guess we are not line of sighting. Okay.
We are.
Maybe eventually.
There were a jug leaping to the before.
I think we only have one jug in
Wonder
here.
who
We are halfway dead.
So
Like,
what you're
I
saying
saw a jug.
is I needed to LOS and I didn't want.
But Kogus, you're not a marauder. You're not supposed to be doing that.
Oh my goodness. So, alright. You know how earlier we were talking about the barrels? We jugs can be stupid too. Yeah, you're right. Like that. Good job, Coggy.
They've
Good
clearly never seen a
job,
marauder.
Coggy. Good.
I'm just gonna die.
Why are you running away?
Bye.
I can... Okay, whatever.
Because
Anyway,
the crabs.
the crabs. Yes, he fell down and pulled the crabs. He just wanted to make some friends. These are the wrong kind of friends, Coggy.
Yeah, I don't like your
I
choice.
guess he likes those friends.
Coggy will just blame it on Groovy. Yeah, these are not the friends you want to make.
Well, he can have whatever friends he wants. I just don't like his choice of friends.
This is a free world. He can make whatever friends he wants.
We kill
This is fair.
No, let's kill it.
Sorry, I was looking for the controls in chat to ban
Most
Castellano.
of them they allow us outside, but the parents all just move, so you don't even have.
Yeah. You can either LOS on the outside and bring all of the pirates out, or you can just come in here and just knock them dead this way.
Kill them.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I had the cartel market window open and I had my auto run going, but I'm also not saying that's not what happened.
Well, it's still better than... I will take that over purposely taking the green circle on Raptus as a tank. And then just getting globaled by driving thrust.
Too bad that didn't happen to me.
Right?
Oh wait, it did.
Oh, right, yeah. Okay, so, hard mode Bolo. So, as we were talking about earlier with the barrels, we're going to have, I believe it's Jaden's. So, we're all going to stack behind Bolo here, as we were doing in story mode. But it's really a big deal to make sure that you do it in hard mode, because it is really imperative that the first blue energy circle drops on the farthest person, being the person with the barrel up here by the because this is where the first set of ads spawn. Apparently there is a bug right now where the ads are being a little bit buggy, so just be advised if you are getting ready to do Bolo at the time of this stream. It is 9/14/2009. 2019. Just be aware that the ads are buggy at the moment. Oh my goodness. So we're all gonna stack here. When the first blue circle comes and hits the first round of ad spawns, immediately your team, everyone who is stacked behind Bolo, needs to disperse. You need to disperse, because that's going to be when you're starting to get the barrel tosses. We're going to start getting AoE damage from the load lifters. So it really, really need to move out as fast as soon as you see that blue circle spawning up on this portion of the arena, everyone needs to move out. Make sure that your melee are not standing in the cleave. The cleave hurts a lot in hard mode, so want to make sure that you're not standing in the cleave at all as a melee. Tanks, is there a tank swap that people need to be aware of on Bolo?
Not really. We just need two fluff tones to have the top two frets, because he does the same thing. Like he's gonna focus on the two highest frets, which should be the two tanks, because he actually hurts.
Yes, he does. He absolutely hurts. So, Bulo is going to go back and forth between the two players with the highest threat. You need to make sure that those are your tanks. So, using your aggro jump on cooldown, PTs with rebounders, excellent. This is the fight to help your team. Rebounders on cooldown, because not only does that lower your threat, that also puts a reflect on the team. But if you're not a real PT, I can't help you. But all right, healers, is there anything big about Bulo that you would like to talk about?
No, just more damage.
More damage.
It's fairly straightforward.
Right. It is a fairly straightforward fight. Again, kind of a watch your feet kind of fight. This is a really big position fight as well. With the blue spawns, with the blue circles, and then just making sure you're not standing in front of cleave for melee. Melee, Kagi, Crane, do you guys have anything you would like to talk about being a melee DPS here on Bulo?
Well, go ahead, Grain.
Not too bad, as long as you kind of get the rhythm for the blue circles that when the blue circle shows up in your feet, you don't have to necessarily move immediately, right? You can kind of take a minute. You can almost drop the second circle and then move out of that. That kind of helps a lot to stop the spread of the blue circles. But apart from that, it's mostly just controlling your threat and then not standing in cleaves.
Yep.
Being really careful to not accidentally lead to the boss when he might be standing next to a blue circle or something.
I've done that too. And what were you saying, Kagi?
I would just say for Jugs, make sure you take your hardened defense with your AoE damage reduction when those mines come out, because they do AoE damage. So if you are standing in a not so good spot, you can still take reduced damage for them. Also, I also take Sonic Wall to help out my teammates in case they are standing in a not good spot.
Thank you. As a Sork or a sniper, and being yelled at is the best DCD, exactly, or yelling at things, that too. As a Sork/sniper, what I'm going to do is I'm also just going to avoid the circles. As a Sork, I'm a lot more mobile, so I can still really DPS, but on my sniper, I can just continue to dot spread and move around. If I'm feeling a little fancy, I can do some snapshot bouncing. But other than that, it's pretty much just making sure you don't stand in stupid. And then Kruvy talked a little bit about reflecting with Chafe Flare and Reflect. Is there anything else you would like to mention for Mercs?
Not really. I mean,
Okay.
purple circle, the volley, just go ahead and make sure you reflect that whenever you see it up. And then the volleys you can pretty much negate with energy shield and Chafe Flare.
All right.
Like if you don't want to move.
If you don't want to move.
You should move, but if you don't want to, you can.
I'm ready.
You're ready. And Zab, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, on tanks.
Pulling.
Everyone immediately stack on the boss's butt, so Wonder can get a little bit closer. Also, use your threat dumps aggressively. Use them on cooldown, especially in the very beginning portion of this fight. So here's the first round of ads. It is on Faz. Everyone needs to disperse. So
Because the boss moved for some reason?
yeah, the boss moved. Alright, so there's the carts that are starting. Okay, I have threat. Okay, so I'm going to turn away here.
No, I have threat. I taunted and
Okay,
turned
I
into
am
fire.
Okay, there you go. So at this point, we're gonna just stay away from each other as much as we can. Mass barrages here. We're gonna actually try to stack as much as the blue circles together as we can to try and keep as much as the arena open in case anyone needs to maneuver around. You know, I mean, and do not be afraid to use your cooldowns. Like if you need to Sork bubble, or if you need to roll, or you need to do A, B, C, or D to make sure you survive, that is perfectly okay.
I'll kill those pirates eventually.
We'll kill the pirates eventually. Alright, so there are the load lifters. Again, we want to make sure that we're spread out as much as possible to you know, mitigate the AoE damage that goes out. The boss also likes to play hot potato, hopscotch, so just be prepared for that.
Dude, we even killed one of the pirates already.
We
We've
dot spreading is fun.
good job, team.
Good job. Go team, go.
Watch this death from above because I'm a professional.
Nah, there were some vengeful slams there too.
How
No,
he's
the
making up for introducing us to his friends.
Kill them all.
Do we need the barrage to kill? Nah.
Nah, we don't need barrage. We got overpowered juggernauts.
We just a DPS can just kill them.
Yeah.
Cleave.
So we're at 19%. We're gonna just continue to stay as spread out as we can. If your adrenals are back up, this is a good time to use it. All that jazz. So again, it's not a very hard fight intrinsically. It's just making sure that you're aware of where you're standing and where the rest of your team is standing. That's a big deal. And he's dead. So, and then we had a couple of ads spawn, but no big deal. Alright, and that's Hardmode. Gets your tank every time. Hey, Marks, well, it's Wookiee boss time. Okay, so we tried to do the mechanics and show what the mechanics are for Torque in story mode. Now in hard mode, we're going to show you what most groups do with the Zerg strat, which come 6.0 may or may not be viable anymore depending on the status of gear. So just keep that in mind. If you are a new team progging or going into Ravagers, just keep that in mind. That the Zerging strat may or may not be viable here in a couple of weeks. So always better to learn the mechanics and then learn the rules so you can break the rules. Know what I mean? I am getting jiggleable. This hurts. My face.
Me too.
I'm okay with it.
Maybe you should stop
Wow.
taunting, Brand.
Maybe I should stop talking. Yeah, you're right.
No, taunting.
Oh, I should stop taunting. Oh, okay. Well, I'll stop using chain lightning then.
You know how, like, in Minecraft, when you die, like, you drop all your crap? I wonder if, like, when Jaden's dies, she just drops profits.
Drops
No.
profits.
Profit explosion.
I'll
Yes.
never let that happen.
Never.
That's the right attitude.
I'm
Too bad they're
going-
not gonna have too many graphics in 6.0 anymore.
Oh,
I'm
that's
not gonna
so
get
sad,
more.
the
I'll just
graphics.
have to keep. I have to keep what I have now.
We're
What
talking
animal
about
are you
the.
going to enslave now?
We are talking about the fiery Groffet pet, just in case anyone's confused. We are talking about the fiery Groffet. All right, so Zerg strat. Basically, we're just going to ignore mechanics. I don't know if any one of our tank or healers would like to go DPS for this fight. Some teams will run one tank and one healer and then 6 DPS. You know, but if you don't have a tank with the DPS set or isn't comfortable or doesn't know, it doesn't matter.
I got you.
You got me, fam?
Yeah, I have DPS gear.
Okay, so why don't you go ahead and swap. The biggest thing to remember, though, with if you do run the one tank Zerg strat, you'll just need to make sure that your the tank that's going DPS, it taunts off for sick of you.
You don't need to.
No, I don't need to.
you-
Okay,
just
well then
hold on
never
through.
mind. Ignore me.
Just roll VCDs. Even you probably don't even need to roll VCDs. It doesn't really hurt at all. Just be aware of your HP and don't say anything stupid.
So we're going to burn raid buffs. We're going to burn adrenals. Like literally, we're going to ignore mechanics. We're not going to summon any fix you droids. We'll cleave onto the fire devices and the shoots lasers, but all of our attention in the Zerg strat is going to be on Torque. And once again, just going to reiterate, this may or may not be viable strat come 6.0, so take this with a grain of salt. Just go ahead and ready check when you're ready.
Yep.
Jay. Hey, deception, my lady.
I was gonna play a hatred bit.
All right,
3, 2.
2,
Why now?
1. Ray buffs. Another thing that I do want to mention in hard mode, you're going to get an ability called Shackles. Someone is going to get shackled, and that's going to CC them to the floor. They also will take like ticking damage. So you will want your healers to make sure that they cleanse that. Obviously, you can negate it with Entrench, Hunker Down, all of that jazz. Should show the mechanics though. Yeah, we did earlier. Wiki Rage.
We
did
tried
it.
to.
We tried to in story mode. Yes, we did. But the mechanics in hard mode are the exact same as the mechanics in story mode. See, there are the turrets, the tamper deterrent devices. So that's what your AoE DPS. So lightning storks, snipers, really good for that. But you'll want to make sure that the shackle is actually cleansed for those who cannot negate it, like with take you back to 3-0, we're working on it. Yeah, it is a tight check to Zerg if you are only using 4 DPS. So I don't particularly rage. I personally don't really like the Zerg strat. I prefer the mechanic strat because I know what's going on and I don't have to freak out. But, some people really like the Zerg strat, so, and a lot of groups use it in story mode. So it's best to kind of know what both types of strategies are. Mechanic strat, best strat, I agree. But that is the Zerg strat for Torque. I highly recommend learning, doing the mechanics, especially when you're progging. Progging, definitely would recommend doing the mechanic strat instead of the Zerg strat because, yeah, reasons. All right.
Now the fun begins.
Now the fun really begins. Master Blaster. Yep, best fight. Time to hit the wall, right?
I'll run this tub for this is you.
I'll keep Master. Are you doing the sell that? Stunt still.
All right. So, things of noteworthy change in hard mode. Everything hits a lot harder, including the explosive probes. Explosive probes can kill people in like 2 hits, so definitely be careful. The cleave from the boss hits you farther. If you are not positioned correctly, either as a tank or, yeah, everything hurts so much. Absolutely. Lots of damage going out. If you are not appropriately positioned for the knockback from Blaster, you will get shot off the side. And you will die. And it is hilarious. Ask Wonder where he would like you to stand. So this fight can be made, like tanks can make or break this fight. So I'm gonna let the tanks take over from here and talk a little bit about why they stand where they stand and talk to me a little bit about tanking Master Blaster.
Okay, so whenever on the first phase, we want to make sure that we point the knockback towards the corners because the knockback's like 60 meters, and you don't want to hit the wall because the wall is electrified, and you don't want to land on orange circles because otherwise you're gonna die. And the knockback itself, the hit from the knockback hurts so much. So if you can pop a cooldown for that, that's great. So we need like to have the melees having their own space behind the boss. The range you're gonna have to float, and the tanks gonna take the 2 spots pointing at the entrance and exit. Depending on the pattern, we're gonna have to switch around, and it always tank swap on the knockback because I can call the patterns. And like whenever the tank gets knocked, Blaster has a skill that he's gonna shoot people that are out of range. His main target's out of range, so that's why we swap, because otherwise we're gonna be coming back to the boss and he's gonna knock the tank against the wall and kill the tank. So we always tank swap there. That's for the first phase. So whenever Master comes down, one of the tanks gonna take Master and the other one's gonna be on Blaster. At that point, the Blaster tank's gonna point the Blaster to entrance or exit depending on what's easier for the group, like where the group moves. Like if the entire group is at the entrance, there's no reason for the tank to point the boss at the entrance. I would say always go for where is easier for the group. And then like after that, the tank has to point depending on the circles to like the exit as an example, and the healing marker one depending where the circle is. The first knock is always to the exit, and then the next one you're gonna see the circle is still on the healing marker side, but when you get knocked the circle disappears.
You cut out
So,
there.
and
There, sorry.
oh, okay. So I said that the tank gets knocked one direction first, like for the second phase to the tank marker, and then the next one you should get knocked to the healing marker because the circle is gonna still be here, but once you land, the circle disappears. So you always just like swap back and forth to each side you are facing. And like in case the group stays on exit, you do the same thing on entrance side. And if you are the master tank, you really want to pop a cooldown for when you are tanking master, because he hurts so much.
Which is another reason why I brought a sword.
And the way the
Sword can soak the iron color, but me and Zab can do the stealth out thing that we did the other
Okay.
day.
Sounds good. And what were you saying, Zab?
Yeah.
Zab? You there?
Can you hear me?
Now we can.
I was gonna say that a lot of the times the beam on masters was gonna wipe a lot of groups if we get this far, because mismanagement of how to eat it. Basically, the first one you wanna stealth it out and taunt it back, and for the second one, usually I guess the more standard way to do it is you would have a person, usually a Sork, will just stand between the beam and eat it with Force Bearer, or you have two different people, so like one person eats 10 stacks, then the other person eats the other 10 stacks, so the tanks doesn't get any stacks. But like she said, you can do the stealth out where I stealth out the first one, she taunts the second one and stealths it out.
All right, thank you guys. I really do appreciate that. One
Yeah,
thing to
and
be.
for the last phase,
Go ahead.
the last phase, like it's gonna be similar to story mode where everyone's gonna stack up except whoever has a bomb, and the master tank has to point the cleave, like just point quickly to the group and then turn away, because it builds stacks that you take increased damage with time, and then more stacks you have, more damage you're gonna take. So you don't want to have like a billion stacks, because then the tank's gonna swap like for cooldowns, because Blaster does melee range damage and Master does 4 stacks, so you really want to swap for cooldowns at some point, because Blaster is gonna start hitting like a truck, and the Master always hits like a truck the entire time.
Yes, that is correct. One thing I do want to just point out, though, is that the patterns that we're going to talk a little bit more about here in a minute, they are random. They are RNG. Sometimes you can get really, really awful patterns. Sometimes you can get really, really good patterns. So just keep that in mind, and don't get angry if you're progressing on this fight. The patterns can also make or break this fight. But healers, let's talk a little bit about this fight. Lots of damage going out. What are some of the best recommendations you can have for healers learning how to heal? What are some of the tips and tricks that you would recommend?
So one thing I'd recommend is since everyone is getting a bomb, the bomb will always do damage when it runs out with the timer as attached to it, so you can sort before the bomb explodes and there'll not be a lot of damage coming out from those. And in the end, AoE heal is important, so make sure you have enough energy going into that phase.
Yep, because everyone's going to be stacked for the ion debuff that magnetizes you to the floor. So really, and also as Jaden's was talking a little bit earlier, it's going to do increased damage, more stacks. So it's going to be, for the rest of everybody in the raid team, especially DPS, using your AoE, your damage reduction cooldowns. Cloud Mine, do not use Entrench if you're in a sniper. I've done it, I've gotten knocked off, it's hilarious. Jugs with the Sonic Wall. Rebounders, I don't know if Rebounders works. I don't believe so, but it's still good to for damage reduction on you as a PT. Mercs with the Energy Shield, Chaff Flare, but I'm going to talk to a little bit more to Kruby about that from Mercs. Faz, do you have anything that you would recommend Merc healers doing, aside from just making sure your bubbles and all that good stuff?
Your bubbles aren't so important. Like, if you got nothing else to do, sure, bubble people up, but other than that, it's most important to keep progressive scan on people.
Progressive scan?
Yeah.
One thing to add, I guess, to that is that throughout basically the whole fight, the tanks are going to be taking a lot of damage, and it's been a thing that it'll happen very often if healers are slacking or not really putting effort into their healing, and they don't heal tanks very well. Let tanks have health or something like that. Tanks need to be fairly healthy all the time, so you want to focus tanks. Like, they'll either get globaled because they weren't healed enough, and the bosses hit very hard, so like just being at 50%, all of a sudden they can be globaled. So they have to be fairly healed, and apart from that, is that if you don't heal them very much, you're gonna make the tanks waste these cities that they shouldn't be wasting because you're not healing them enough. So definitely, tanks will take priority over pretty much anyone else. Healer or DPS should not be taking damage, aside from the grenades. If they're taking damage, aside from that, that's their own fault. Sure, heal them, but they don't take priority at any moment over tanks.
If a tank is low and a DPS is low in this fight, definitely. I mean, and in most situations, you want to make sure that the tank takes priority. But it is really important here, Master Blaster, because if a tank is dead and you don't have a battle rose, that's pretty much the fight. Like, you will pretty much wipe almost 99% of the time. You will wipe if that tank is down and you cannot get them up. And it is very hard to stealth res in this fight due to the carpet bombs, probes, Rain of Pain. I mean, like, you name it. There is so much damage going out. So definitely healers, your biggest priority is making sure that both of your tanks can take a knockback. All right, Kagi and Crane, talk to me a little bit about being melee, avoiding trample, avoiding probes, all of that good jazz.
Oh, it is so much fun. one of the most annoying ways to die, and something you can like really look and prevent, is the mine that goes off in the middle of the carpet bomb. And I can't tell you how many times people have wiped because of it. Like, you die because you can't. It literally stops you. Like, it interrupts you. Literally stops you from walking and getting out of the carpet bomb. And it is completely preventable, but you have to see it coming. And sometimes people like forget that they have the mine on. And if you hold the line, obviously that will help you. For other classes, I'm sure you can use other things, but you just have to be mindful of when the mines are going to go off on you, because you just have to know that if you're not going to pop a cooldown for it, it's going to knock you down. And if you need to be moving during that period, that could be bad. Apart from that, like, at least for the power tech, it's really nice to be able to just hold the line and ignore a lot of these. So it can be really useful if you caught yourself out of position. You don't necessarily want to jump in and run in right into the middle of the group to get back into your position. Sometimes, like, I'll just stay out in front to take, one cleave, like hold the line, because it's usually better to not like surprise the entire group with like a surprise orb right in the middle of everybody, than to just like hang out for a bit and then wait for everything to settle out, especially right after the carpet bomb. But for the most part, it just kind of seems really scary. The very beginning when you're standing on the cross, the yellow comes right up to your feet, and like the important part is not to panic. We see a lot of people who play DPS like the first time, and they see the yellow coming right up to their feet. Like their first instinct is like run straight into the boss because they panic that the yellow is going to hit them. They just have to trust that if they stand on the right position, the yellow is not going to hit them.
And
Apart
we're
from that,
talking
for the
about
most part,
the carpet, so the patterns. So that's what
yeah,
we're
this
saying.
is the yellow.
Yeah, the yellow circles, because those are the ones that do damage to you, fire damage, and
Yeah.
they tick like crazy. Anyway, continue.
And you stand right on the edge of where the yellow comes to you. So like if it's the first time you're DPSing it, it always happens. They panic and they walk forward because they think that the yellow is going to keep going, but it stops just before. And sometimes you're standing in the wrong place. You just need to take a step forward, but you just got to remember not to panic.
Yep.
For the most part, though, it's not an exciting fight for the melee just because of the orbs. Just make it really difficult to maneuver in the first place. So you're kind of stuck in this whole kind of behind the boss like most of the fight. For the most part, you're just kind of rotating 90 degrees here and there. The only really exciting parts are the carpet bomb phases where you might get yourself caught out of position.
So yeah, as just to reiterate, making sure you don't panic and you kind of keep an eye on where you're standing. That's going to be a big thing for everyone. Everyone can take away from that, not just melee DPS. Kagi, anything you would like to add about that?
I mean, this is definitely not a fun fight for melee. It's a lot of like Crane was saying. I mean, I still get nervous about it. I'm in the right spot, and then I gotta squeeze a butt because I'm like, there's a circle coming out from behind me, and then we're getting the mind, and then you're just hoping you're not overlapping. But like Crane said, if you're just standing in the right position, everything works out just fine. He did a really good job of explaining it all.
Yeah, and that was a really good point you made about not surprising the group with a surprise orb or a surprise probe. Really, really, really want to make sure that you do not wipe the group with a surprise probe. It's a very bad idea. Very bad idea. Groovy, Mr. Dies a Lot, would you like to talk about being a ranged DPS here?
Wow. Okay. So ranged are put in an interesting spot because unlike the melee DPS who can stand behind the boss for most of the fight and kind of cheese it, we have to kind of pay attention to the patterns a lot more. So the moment you see them spawning, you should be moving to your proper place. Try not to be in front of the boss. When Master comes down, try to put on as much DPS as you can on him. I'm not sure, like, if they changed up the reflect on the laser cutter on Master. I know it doesn't actually reflect, but I'm not sure if it actually, like, keeps you at health, like, neutral. So I don't know if it actually, like, reflects it or not, and you can get heals off of it.
Does not anymore, if I
yeah,
recall
that's kind
correctly.
of, that sucks. So yeah, don't do that. For the Rain of Pains, make sure that you have your hydraulics up for the last, like Rain of Pain, because there's going to be a slight knock-up, and you're going to need your hydraulics for that, or you're going to get stuck. Aside from that, there's really not a hell of a lot to say.
Yeah.
Pretty straightforward.
No, Mercs and Mandos have it a little bit easier for the ranged DPS. For a Sorc/Sniper, we're actually going to have a little bit of a harder time. Sorc, I'm going to be a lot more mobile, so I'm not going to be as worried about DPS. I also have Panic Bubble, so if I get caught out of position, I can just pop God Bubble and wait. I can get a pull from another Sorc, or I can just take those Enduring Bastion stacks, it's called Enduring Bastion, right? Yep. Hey, I remembered. As a sniper, though, I'm a little SOL. As a sniper, I have to really, really be careful on this fight because probes, I only have one roll. I have roll, and then I have my countermeasures speed buff. But other than that, hello. Oh, thank you. Okay. All right, go ahead, Krivy.
Yeah, I have one more thing to add. If you have another merc with you, in the fight, this really doesn't apply, but if you have a Sorc or a sniper and things get out of hand, don't be afraid to run into the circles, not for a long period of time, but long enough to actually get into place, because you can save your what the hell's it called? Culto Overload for that, and it's kind of like it can save you a lot because like it prevents you from like having to like preoccupy the same space as the other raid. So it kind of helps to like save that just in case that happens. Like so you can survive in the puddles longer than most other people. Like,
That is correct.
Aside from Sorks, you can like go under the like turtle shell.
Turtle shell. Snipers, like if you get stuck out of position and your roll is down and your Imperial prep is down, you're gonna just have to pray. You're gonna have to run and pray. So as a Sork, what I like to do as a Sork, what I like to do is I like to put phase walk down just in case I can get stuck. So I'll either put it down here or I'll put it down over here to get ready for the master phase, just depending on what the group does and what the group's placement is. So it's also just a neat little trick, or, you know, just utilizing more of your abilities. So we're going to go ahead and get ready to pull. Hoping that the patterns are not going to be terrible RNG for us. And when we say patterns, you're going to hear us call out positioning. Jaden's, are you going to be talking about, are you going to be calling out for position where we need to go, or are you going to be calling out where the
for
boss
DPS.
is? Okay, so yes, this is veteran mode. So Jaden's is going to call out where the DPS go. Hello, Big Dog. It's good to see you. So if she's going to say something like DPS back, right? So that means we're going to go where, Jaden's? Where does that mean that we go?
You're gonna stand on this area behind the boss here where I marked.
Yep. So we're going to stay here, which means the
Around this area.
Yeah, around this area, which means that there's going, like, the rest of the arena is going to be covered in the red or in the yellow fire circles, but this is going to be the safe area. One of the things you do need to be aware of, though, is that everyone's going to be having explosive probes, so make sure that you do not run into someone. We're all going to be basically moving as a group. We're going to be separated by distance, just by proximity distance, but we're going to be moving as a group in tandem. So, like, you'll watch for during Reign of Pain, we're all going to be in the same area. We're basically going to be in a really long line, and we're just going to move with each other as a group. I forget what that old early 2000s dance move is called, where, you know, you guys, where people were doing, like, they were just like one muscle tick out of the way, you know, behind the next person. I will remember it in a little bit, but that's basically what we're doing. Anyway, ready, check for the pull.
Are you thinking of the conga?
No, it's not the conga. It's literally this dance.
I'm pulling.
Okay, anyway, we'll talk later. All right. So, as you can, do you see kind of where the placements are at? How the mercenary and I are separated by about a good 10 meters. So here comes the explosive probes. That goes out on everyone. It gives you a little bit of time to adjust, and just in case. So once again, and as Crane said earlier, all right.
DPS entrance.
See, that's what happens when you run into when you run into somebody with a probe, you're gonna explode their probe and you're gonna explode yours as well. And it will knock you up, and if you're in a bad position or if you're low health, it will kill you or it can kill the other person.
DPS back.
So I'm gonna move this way. So, do you see how it's kind of like, it's a little bit of a dance? The ranged are a little bit more at a disadvantage than the melee, because we have to kind of move around each other and we have to be mindful of the patterns. He is getting ready to phase, though.
DPS back.
Okay. Is this the pattern where we're... No, we're good. Alright, boss is being
I will
called.
point entrance. So
rotate exit.
Yep.
Yeah, I recommend like Shark Bait stay behind the boss and Sarly stay next to the group.
As soon as this pattern adjusts, I'm gonna move.
And Faz, watch out, because I'm gonna be pointing the boss where you're standing.
So
I
I keep,
noticed that.
yeah, both range DPS.
I said I was going entrance.
It's okay. Get him up. Just get him up. I got the boss, or I got. Oh, you got that? Oh.
Nope, I got it.
Okay, you got it. All right. I'll get him. I'll res. I'm closer. Do not. Okay, we're good.
I said I was pointing entrance.
It's okay. It's okay.
You got the first one already?
Yes,
Yeah, I got the first.
She got the first one. So range DPS are going to be focused on Master, and the melee DPS are going to stay on Blaster. Rain of Pain.
Dispatch those thunderheads, boss.
Oh, this is going to be a nasty pattern.
Want them secondary systems to work.
Oh, good gracious. So middle is going to be clear. So we're missing. We're evading the carpet bombs, the patterns, the probes. Lots of things going on during the Rain of Pain phase. So I'm gonna adjust really quickly.
You take this one, I don't have it.
Yeah,
Are you sure you got it? Because I can barrier.
yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Good.
Do we need to just reset?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and reset. So we're gonna face the boss in second phase. We're facing him to the entrance. So
I faced the entrance because the DPS were like more towards the exit
That's
side.
fine. That's fine. That's fine. But I'm really glad that we saw just how much damage goes out during this portion. How much avoiding you need to do so it's a little bit of a, yeah, if a tank dies, you have to get them up immediately. Because otherwise it hurts. Alright. Those are some not great patterns either. This is a lot of fun in 16-man too.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. No, I was being entirely facetious. Alright. But honestly, chat, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask away. I will either direct them to the expert or, yeah, 16-man Master Blaster. Like, once I got that achievement, I was like, I'm done. I'm never doing this again. But yes, chat, please feel free. Ask any and all questions you need, even if it's regarding rotation, regarding class-specific mechanics. I will direct them, or my mod will direct them to me, and I can direct them to the appropriate expert. Which one? Uh-oh. Oh, we're good. Hello, Morage. Did not get my face worked out. Probes. 16-man hard mode. Yeah. Once I got my 16-man Master Blaster Chivo hard mode, I was done. Oh, I promised that I should not do that. A haircut. I just straight hair today. Yes, I am 100% for Ravagers. Pattern?
Entrance.
Just go. I'm gonna bubble. So this is kind of like what I mean. Oh gosh, Wonder, you are scaring me. Better than toss. Okay, so that means I can
Exit.
exit. Cannot get there in time. I'm gonna die. Oh, I'm not gonna die.
You're gonna. Yeah, I should just wipe now.
Yeah. So this is what I was talking a little bit earlier about the patterns. Sometimes they can be really good, sometimes they can be really bad. And a bad pattern, if you're not expecting a bad pattern, can wipe you.
Don't make me call the marshal.
Yeah, and they change very, very quickly.
Didn't even need the ball.
Yep, they are always different. Yeah, so RNG can really mess up the run here. So that is just something to keep in mind. Yeah, no, this is definitely the most mechanically heavy fight in this instance. And once you get past Master Blaster, like, Coratanni is just quick clear. But this is where most groups will spend their time, is on Master Blaster. Just understanding where the patterns are. All that good stuff. I'm going to quickly place my Phase Walk over here, though. Yeah, Coratanni's easy. Yeah, Phase Walk over here. All right. Ready, check, please. Yep, the hostage mechanic, indeed. All right, on tanks.
Operation Thunderhead dispatches go.
What is the story behind this mission? Well, this is actually one of the ones that doesn't have a direct tie-in to the rest of the missions, but the story is that we are still undercover as a Nova Blade, or not a Nova Blade, as the Howling Tempest gang. And we get pulled aside by Rugar in hopes that maybe Coratanni might be able to help us get to the Revenites, which she does not, and Rugar ends up betraying you because, obviously. I am playing as Lightning Sword.
We're going to entrance.
Entrance.
Yeah.
Much better. So, we are hoping, the long and short, I'm playing a Lightning Sword concealed. The long and short for the story is that we're hoping that Coratanni has some information that leads us to the Revenites, but she does not, and we get backstabbed by Rugar.
DPS back.
Probes. Oh, I love this class concealed. It's one of my favorites. You should be getting ready to get Master here in a little bit. Oh, yeah. The Sleen, yes.
DPS back. I'll point boss to the exit.
Pointing boss to exit, heard. All right, boss is being called down. All right, so from here on out, the boss is going to be pointed to the exit. So melee DPS, just be aware. I'm getting in position for Master. Oh, hi.
Do you need melee to rotate?
Yeah, don't stand in front of the boss.
Yeah, melee rotate.
You guys should be yeah, like Harley should be more or less on the healing marker and shark bait right behind the boss.
That's what they're talking about for the melee. So the melee have certain positions.
Yeah, because
Go ahead.
you're gonna get hit by the circle Kagas if you stand there.
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Just as a reminder, Master takes 90% less damage. So while it looks like you're not doing any damage, just know that it's this part is not a DPS check. DPS check comes in burn. All right, Rain of Pain. So as we've got like 5 different people with probes, so especially with Rain of Pain and patterns, it's very important to make sure you don't run into anybody else with a probe. Also be aware that the probes have different timers. So like mine was one of the longer explosive probes, so I did not have to rush to another spot very quickly. However, if I had one of the shorter probes, I would have had to really make sure that I had either a way out, such as phase walk, or here, let me get out of your way.
That's from Kagi.
I'll just wait for the yellow to go out.
Get him up. Oh, okay, got him. All right. Oh, that was unfortunate. The bad thing about Master Blaster is that they have a lot of RNG to them. Like the timing of the probes, the position of the patterns.
Second one coming.
I got it.
So even if you're doing everything correctly, you can still wipe. Alright, Rain of Pain. What is Blaster at?
29. Or Blaster's at 29.
Blaster's at 2900.
We can possibly do, but it's gonna be a little bit rough.
Yeah, might need to see if we can actually get a stealth res out.
We can't. We don't have self available. None of us.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, DCDs are going to be big for burn phase, guys.
I don't know how I didn't die, but I'm not gonna question.
Alright, so Master is at 55%.
Push Master, I would say.
Yeah. Alright, we are now in burn phase. If you do not have a bomb, stack in front of the boss. If you do have a bomb, wait.
Back up.
Are we pushing Blaster first or are we pushing Master first?
Master.
Master first? Alright.
Melee hit Blaster and range hit Master. One Blaster is like a 15% stop hitting Blaster.
Yep. Alright. Bye. Okay, so this is your burn phase. This is where there is a hard stop. What will happen is that the arena will be completely covered in the bombs and the yellow circles, and you cannot do anything about it.
Does everyone want to swap after the knockback?
Yeah.
You got it.
Another thing, the knock is actually an interrupt. Guys, please remember to use your DCDs liberally.
Oh, I'm dead. I did not get hit.
Hey! Alright, Master's at 11%.
You sure you were dead, Zeb?
Alright.
It's sketchy. It's sketchy.
Alright, burn Blaster.
I have deflection.
Great.
Not anything at all.
It's pretty much dead.
And that's it. And that is Master Blaster in hard mode.
Fight me IRL. God damn it, blow up already.
I never survived that last spot. All the mechanics I can do except for this last one. I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
So
Any reses?
yeah, I'm coming to res. So just know that you will get knocked back after Blaster explodes. So Blaster dies at 9%, Master dies at 9%, or is it 19? I can't remember. Even though we just did the fight, I cannot remember.
I believe if you burn Blaster down past 9%, like Master heals him back up.
Yes. Correct.
So, yeah.
Correct. Also, if you kill Master too quickly and Blaster is too high, where is... There they are. There are all my slugabeds. You will no longer have the magnetization to the deck, and you will go flying off. So you definitely want to make sure that you burn evenly, or as evenly as you can. Also, in hard mode, you have a chance for the jury-rigged battle droid to drop. Let's see if I can find it and show it off. That is what the jury-rigged battle droid looks like. Congratulations, Sharkbait. It's a rare drop. Ooh-ha. It's a rare drop too. Like it is not 100% drop rate.
It looks like a shoe.
It
Like a
looks
really fancy like shoe that would
looks
be in
like a
like Paris
shoe.
Hilton's closet.
All right, last but certainly not least, Coratanni. Once your team clears Master Blaster, you're gonna laugh at how easy Coratanni is in comparison. The biggest mechanic that kills people or wipes groups in Coratanni is Ricochet Shot. Ricochet Shot is the #1 wiper of groups in first phase. Second phase, the #1 wipe mechanic is Hostage and Mouse Droids. Those are what I see teams dying to the most. Anyway, so Ricochet Shot, we're going to spread out while we're clearing chests. We're going to talk a little bit more about the mechanics. For Ricochet Shot, what you're going to do is you're going to divide your team into groups. So basically, it's going to be flashpoint groups of just teams of 4. And you're going to have Ricochet Shot, you have to spread to other players that do not have the Ricochet Shot debuff. If you don't, you will die. So, like, let's say the 3 of us, the 4 of us right here, let's say I have Ricochet Shot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, hey, Kruby, what's going on? You should share
No.
this Ricochet Shot with me.
No.
And so I'm going to spread the Ricochet Shot to him, and then I'm going to move on to Faz over here, and I'm going to say, hey, Faz, guess what? I have a really awesome Ricochet Shot. You should totally try it out. And Faz is going to be all like, oh, yeah, dude, that sounds awesome.
Doesn't sound like something I would say.
Nah, you let Ryan die because she's playing a Sork.
Wow, that's classist.
I'll just run to the other side of the room.
Right.
So, if you do not have large debuffs, yeah, you please talk about that later when we're in the fight, Kagi. If you do not have relatively large debuffs on your bar that you can see, or you can see clearly what the debuffs look like, highly recommend turning on debuffs so you can see. Like, when I was progging this fight, I would actually swap to my healer UI because I have enlarged debuffs there, so I can see who has Ricochet Shot and who does not, and therefore I would know who to go to. Very, very important that you do not touch or spread Ricochet Shot to someone who already has the debuff, as it will kill them. Does my main class, Smuggler Operative, have a place in higher tier raids? I can hold my own in story mode, but can they keep up with, say, Sorks for DPS or healing? Loaded question. A, is it a Scoundrel or an Operative? Are you DPS or healing? So are you a Sniper / Gunslinger, or are you a Sork or an Operative / Scoundrel? And are you healing or are you DPSing? Well, if you're a Slinger or a Sniper, I know exactly what you're doing. But while we're getting there, tanks. You want to talk to me a little bit about tanking Coratanni and Rugar?
Yeah, the bird is a pain, and
Bird is a pain. Bird is the word?
yeah,
Yeah, bird
the
is.
bird stunning you 24/7, and Cora, she's just like a normal boss to tank. Like you're pretty much, let's say, I could compare her to tanking like a dummy, because
Horse boss.
you pretty much just keep aggro. Yeah, you just keep aggro on her, and that's it.
So, when Coratanni dies or runs off, the bird, or Pearl, of course, Pearl will enrage. Pearl's going to do a lot more damage. That's why you're going to want everyone to stack up for AoE heals, for defensives like Rebounders and Sonic Wall, and all of that jazz you'll want to use. No, you're not. Yeah, I know you're not. So... Also, just fun fact.
Sorry bunch who fell for Rugar's blubbering.
Coratanni.
You can forget any promises he made you. I only backstabbed him because he backstabbed me first. It's what he does best.
Coratanni is voiced by the actress who played Kaleo. You can do both, mostly the dot spec. Yeah, honestly, you're fine, especially in this tier of gear. In the 258 gear, you can bring any class into high tiers of rating and do just fine. We do say that, you know, the lower the gear, the higher your skill. And also some classes you're going to have a little bit of a harder time putting out numbers. Like, I'll bring a Concealment Operative. I brought Concealment Operative into Terror from Beyond Nightmare because I felt like it. And it was fun. But yeah, was I doing as much damage as, like, my Sniper or a Power Deck? No. But I had fun. And we didn't hit Enrage. So, yes. The answer to your question is yes. As of this moment, with where gear is right now, yes. Operative Scoundrel can be viable in the higher tiers of gear. We need 2 snipers, 1 concealment, 1 lightning. No. All right. That's why I'm a gear rating of over 9,000. And you're still bad, Kagi. Shame. All right. So we're going to split up our groups into, so let's see. Let's have, I'm going to do a little bit of maneuvering here. I'm going to keep the tanks and the healers in the same left, the left column, but we're going to have ops frame or flashpoint frames. So the top 4, you guys are going to be doing ricochet shot for you 4, and then we're going to be doing ricochet shot for R4. So we talked a little bit about Coratanni and Pearl for tanks, healers. Anything of importance for Coratanni and Pearl?
Just one for Rugar. You want to keep someone like a sniper below everyone else's health, so all the droids will go to them.
Correct.
But for this part, it's mainly just simple healing.
Simple healing. I'm actually going to swap to my healer UI, which has enlarged debuff, so I can see the ricochet shot and call it out. Important thing to note for the deck guns, which is the large yellow conal that comes from the sides. You're going to want to find that position in between the conals. You have a high ego skill rating. But, so whenever you get the fire debuff and you have to hit the panel to spawn the blue circles to remove the fire debuff, you do get locked out per person. So you will need an order. So I'm going to have the 2 melee do it first, and then we'll go. So we're going to just go down the line of DPS. We're going to have the melee, who are going to usually be closer to the panels, go first, and then we'll do ranged and healers. Hopefully we don't have that many fire. You can heal through it, but if you're progging, do not recommend. Do not recommend if you're progging to heal through the fire damage. Also, cleansing your fire damage does also stun you for a brief period of time, so do be aware of that. Melee DPS. So Crane and Kagi, talk to me a little bit about being a melee DPS on this fight.
It's still tons a lot of fun. I don't even know English. I mean, the big thing is making sure you get ricochet and you avoid ricochet from whoever's getting it. Making sure you're not standing wherever the, what is it, from the walls, just
Deck
watch
guns.
out for stupid. Watch out for stupid. I mean, it's a lot less stressful than Master Blaster, so it's...
You don't have to be so precise here in Coratanni.
No, I mean, a lot of this is just kind of, you can kind of tunnel the boss with the exception of a couple of mechanics.
Correct.
And so, as long as you kind of watch out for, you could even kind of pre-plan for it as the dot goes up, right? So if you get that ricochet shot, right, and you complete that mechanic, right, you got a couple of seconds before it will get you again. You got about 30, 40 seconds. So you kind of relax. But as soon as the other side, whatever the other group happens to be, gets their ricochet shot, you kind of start putting yourself in position. So you kind of know, like, I'm all right, I'm going to run to this person, I'm going to run to that person. So you kind of prepare yourself. And then it's a lot less stressful than to have to think on your feet, do that. And like I said, the last part of the fight is just make sure you don't kill your friends with the hostage.
Hostage, correct. Thank you so very much, you guys. Karubi, being ranged.
Don't stand on fire, and you can reflect the bird. That's about it.
That's about it. Yeah, honestly, Coratanni...
Oh, one thing. Second part, are we just explaining the first part? Or
No,
the
you can
part?
explain the second part.
Second part, if you get abducted, like, as a merc, pop reflect and have everybody shoot the boss.
Correct. When we were, the last time we did this, Karubi was like, I swear to God, guys, if you do not hit the boss while I'm hostage, I'm gonna be mad. So we didn't. It was great.
Yeah.
I mean, last time we did Coratanni, Karubi was dead, so...
You know what? I hope, like, your C drive gets deleted. So all your graphics
The
can
best
go
insult is I hope you step on a Lego.
That's me.
I know it is. All right. Since
No,
we...
not you, Ren. What he said is me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna call PETA.
Be nice, you two. Be nice. So we do not have a sniper to take the mouse droids. So healers, who would you like to keep at lower, I'm actually gonna nominate Kruby, because as a Sork I can get Jiglobaled.
Why?
Because I can, and he likes the extra fluff, but I can also take it. So we'll just we'll have Kruby and I stand out for mouse droids, or for the death droids. As a sniper slash Sork, for Coratanni and Rugar, it's pretty much the same thing as being a merc. We can't sit and fire and reflect though. In Rugar phase, we can entrench as a sniper or hunker down as a slinger. So that's a way to negate the knockback. As a Sork, for the knockback on Rugar or for the hostage, I can bubble, I can force barrier for hostage if things get a little bleak. But just to let you know, if you have overzealous DPS in the rest of your group, that can literally be all of 1 or 2 GCDs. Sometimes you don't even have time to react if you're low. Like if you just got hit with a death droid and then you're going to get held hostage, sometimes you don't even have time to react. And you know what? That's okay. It's not a huge DPS check on Rugar, especially if you have overzealous DPS. Just kidding. Alright, we're going to ready check for the pull. I know Kagi said he had to jump up real quick. Oh, right.
I'm here.
Okay.
So, just as reiterate, Zab, Faz, myself, and Kruby are going to be a ricochet shot group. Wondershun, Jay, Sarly, and Sharkbait are going to be the other ricochet shot group. Alright. On tanks.
I'm
Oh, wait. Oh, he's ready. Just kidding.
This time he didn't face pull at least.
At least you didn't face pull this time, correct. Another thing that I've noticed that will wipe groups is the deck guns. So, you know, just be careful. Alright, ricochet shot on Sarly.
It's because of the... Sometimes if you click on the console to remove the fire, it's worse because you get stunned and then you get knocked by the yellow.
Yes, correct.
So that's... it, like, for the most part, it's much better to just heal through the dot than cleanse and get knocked and die.
Right.
Wondershun's got ricochet.
Ricochet. I'm taking it. Or Kruby will take it.
Yeah,
That's fine.
because of that. Like, I
There's
don't even cleanse my dot ever because...
ricochet shot on Sharkbait. Ricochet
Right,
stops.
Sarly.
Ricochet does stop after Coratanni dies, just as an FYI. Deck guns.
That guy.
Ricochet shot on Wondershun. I'll come take it off of you. Need one more person. Did you get? Yep. Okay, there you go. All right. So all on Pearl. Careful with the ricochet. Welcome back, Dr. Sartor. All right. Now that the ricochet shot is off, I'm going to go ahead and stack with the rest of the group.
Healers have to pay attention of who's getting ganked by the bird.
Yep.
Because it's a rage, and if you don't heal them quickly, they can get killed.
Yes, they can.
And while they're stunned, not all classes are able to use ADCD. So some classes are helpless and completely depending on healers.
So let's see, what classes would that be? That would be operative slash scoundrel, power tech slash vanguards.
Marauders, I guess, unless you have a Clock of Pain, but still sketchy. You're technically okay. Snipers, you're out of luck. Sork, if you use barrier already, you're out of luck.
Yep.
Merc, you should be able to reflect, unless you already reflect.
Also, again, if you are finding yourself down battle reses or finding yourself down players after Pearl dies, you do not have to enter the next phase immediately. You can do stealth resing. You can wait for reses to come off of cooldown.
Take a bio break right now.
Yeah, you can take a bio break and go get something to eat. You can go, take a nap. I don't care. The phase will not continue until you channel the escape pod. So the Rugar phase is going to start with the ads. You don't want to get too close or pull Rugar right off the bat because you want to make sure that the ads are out of, the ads are out of commission. All right, so they're going to take Rugar over here to the door. Why do you take Rugar over to the door?
Well, because then the DPS have the entire room to stay spreaded, and when we get knocked, like when he does a knockback, we get knocked against the door.
Basically to keep the boss.
Mouse
inside.
droids on. I'm trying to target on Vasily. We swap it 2 stacks of the poison.
Yes, so he puts a die called
It
poison.
works a lot.
Yeah, so he puts a die that looks like corrosive dart from an agent on the tanks. So about 2 stacks is when you want to do a tank swap, and then after that, you just swap when they drop, right? Or do you just stop?
We swap when he gets 2 stacks. I should be fine. Like with. I'll take in a second to try to stop res.
Okay, thanks. So
Sorry,
what?
Crane.
Good.
Wasn't me though.
Good job there, Kagi.
Oh, knockback.
All good. Maybe we can see if Zab can get a stealth res.
We'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Battle res is in 20 seconds.
Noise Troy. Mouse droids on shark bait.
So nice try. You're gonna hear a vocal cue. Nice try. That is when the mouse droids start spawning again. So just keep that in mind.
Take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should be getting a hostage here relatively shortly. Knockback.
Mouse droids on Sarley.
Also good res.
Also, the tank should never let the boss never expose your back to Ruger
Something
because he's gonna
stupid?
backstab you if you do that. It's like Raven. Raven's gonna stab you if you are not facing him the entire time.
Yeah. So as
Sorry.
on Kruby.
Groovy. That thing hurts.
I refuse. I'm not gonna die.
Not
Aren't
today.
you though?
Ooh.
Can we not?
Mouse droids on something stupid.
Bye.
I didn't have anything.
It's okay. I'll res after this. See, the death droids can murk you. Should be getting a hostage soon.
Noise Troy, Groovy,
I cheat flared.
Epic.
Yeah.
Wondershin, stop
No
DPS.
Yeah, don't kill Wonder.
Yeah, please don't kill Wonder.
Kill Wonder.
If it was a DPS, no, if it was a DPS would be fine, but don't kill the only healer that's alive.
All right, healers are up. Other healer is up.
I think it's on Shark Bait.
It's on Jay. Okay.
Much intense gameplay.
Oh, I think I taunted something.
It's okay. 2%,
I'm not gonna quit.
2%, 1%, and that is a dead Rugar.
Yep. I don't think that was a bad thing the droid went to be because at least I had cooldowns up. Tank cooldowns, so I'm not gonna take. So you can save your DPS cooldowns for when you get other mouse droids. That's a good thing that went to me.
Yep, teaching run. If it's a DPS, you can kill them. Honestly, with our level of gear right now, minus some fights, like Brontes, that's actually correct. Like, the world is not over if a DPS dies. We are not that special.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Yes, we are.
I noticed 2 things on that fight. A, I didn't die to ricochet shot or the bird, so that was cool. And 2, the fire that goes out, you can reflect with pyro shield or
Very
mercs.
cool.
So that's cool. Yeah, it's probably like an additional 50 DPS. So
Well,
keep that in mind.
that is officially hard mode and story mode, or story mode and veteran mode Ravagers.